Hey folks, it's Jared Mannanen from the website TahoeTrailGuide.com. More spring snow. It's very sticky though, super sticky. I am totally clumping up on the underside of my skis, so you kind of have to play it a little bit safe when you're doing that. One of the things that I've been kind of contemplating lately was this idea of things that we choose to do or want to get better at. A lot of times they're really simple things, but they're just not easy to accomplish. And I know that sounds a bit paradoxical or contrary or something. Doesn't sound right about it, I'm sure, but it's one of those things where, yeah, step one, step two, step three, accomplish, but in between all those steps are like a million smaller steps, and it takes a long time to complete those with any sense of I guess like embodiment, to make sure that you actually know what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and then being able to forget all that because it's in your body and it just becomes this thing that is natural now, or quote unquote natural, and that's just through sheer repetition. So I always say cross-country skiing, particularly classic cross-country skiing, is deceptively complex, and for that reason it's one of those things where it's pretty simple. You know, you push off, you transfer your weight, and then you glide onto the next ski, but it's just not easy to do. So as you're learning, as you're trying to get better at this thing, I guess my feedback to you is just don't get too discouraged. Just try to get miles and hours on skis on the snow, because you're just not gonna get that into your body, all that subtle technique and that subtle body movement, unless you do it a lot. So repetition is key factor, and that's why one reason I'm out here today, just to do a little bit of diagonal striding back and forth. And it's really sticky again, so it's not the best conditions in which to practice, but it puts this data or this information with sticky snow into my body so that I become more familiar with these conditions compared to the perfect conditions at the groomed cross-country ski area, for example. I've also been playing a little bit with downhilling, not a whole lot though, just because this snow is pretty challenging. One, because it's sticky, but also it's bare ground under about 5 inches or 4 inches of this really saturated snow. So it does kind of mask or cover up some of the obstacles, the pine cones and branches and stumps and bushes, but at the same time I can still feel my skis running over them. So I'm playing it a little bit safe as I'm doing this downhill stuff. But the reason I wanted to get out here is because I have been watching some of the old footage of me doing downhilling, and I really need to get my poling down when it comes to telemark turns. I'm just doing like the opposite type of poling that I should be doing. I should be reaching downhill, planting, and then turning around that pole, just like alpine turns, and you know, any kind of regular downhill turn. You reach downhill with those ski poles and basically turn around them or use them for timing. But yeah, I've been failing on that this season, so I've been working on the lower half of my body and not getting the upper half. So I'm out here doing the repetition, putting the time in, and even if it's just a little bit, and I talk about frequency over duration. So what if I can't get out here for 8 hours? You know, most of the time we don't learn the best when we're trying to do these big blocks of time. We learn better when we do it routinely, habitually, repetitively. That's when we really learn, is we just put that stuff in, so it's always in the back of our mind, always in our body. Anyway, yeah, cross-country skiing, very simple, not very easy. I did not expect this morning to be so beautiful after yesterday. So obviously this is filmed over the course of 2 days. It's about 7:30 right now in the morning. I decided I'd get out here early because all the snow will eventually settle and compact, and right now it's got somewhat of a firm base with some nice champagne on top. But yeah, it's just really nice out. But there are a lot of unseen obstacles out here, and yeah. Just a short session this morning as well as yesterday. That's how it is with spring skiing now. You just have to get it while you can. Hopefully time permitting, schedule permitting. Yeah, just that idea of things being simple but not easy to accomplish. Repetition is the key, really staying connected to it, really try to embrace an immersive experience with whatever it is you're learning. You know, there's something to be said for the trope that says, you know, the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over with the expectations of having a different result. But realistically, you have to do the same thing over and over. Maybe not the same exact thing, but you have to repeat that activity. Couple ravens out here. You have to repeat that activity. You got to just put the time in. Today, for example, you know, yesterday I mentioned how I could not figure out why I'm pulling so improperly, and today, just through repetition and trying to listen a little bit more to my body and see what it's doing, I realize now that what I'm trying to do is recreate this diagonal stride posture. In diagonal stride, we have our same side ski forward, but the same side arm backward. So we would have our left ski forward, and then we would have our right hand forward, but our left hand would be back behind us, releasing after it's pushed off. And that's what I realized that I've been doing toward the latter half of this season as I incorporate poling into my telemark turning practice, is that I'm recreating that posture or that position, that arm position in the telemark stance, but my natural response is to put my hand behind me, which shouldn't be doing that. I should be keeping in front, punching it downhill, that sort of thing. So through repetition, we learn these things, and now I have a place in which I can begin to work on that to correct it for these downhill turns. Very exciting though. A little bit late in the season for me to figure this out, but at least I figured it out, what I was doing, and why I just felt opposite of what I should have been doing. Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Again, I appreciate all you guys tuning in, especially this late in the season, because I know most people have moved on. But, you know, Lake Tahoe, I just heard the news yesterday. We've received more snow here in April of 2022 compared to all of January, February, and March of this year. So it's just better late than never, I guess. Kind of weird, but I'm trying to get on it while I can. So yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or feedback, post it in the comment section below. Check out TahoeTrailGuide.com for more information, particularly companion articles to all these cross-country ski videos. I just want to say thank you so much to all my Patreon subscribers, as well as those of you who have contributed via PayPal and Venmo. You guys are amazing. I totally appreciate the support, and it's just very motivating and inspiring. So thank you, and have a great rest of your season.